Here we are. Good evening, everybody. I thought I would make a quick video. I think I promised I would make a quick video actually of me making pasta sauce because not too many people believe I do it, but I do it and I do love it. And I grow our own tomatoes. We do everything ourselves. You just can't get better than homemade pasta sauce. So today we're going to throw a few tomatoes through the grinder, and I do it all the old school way. You have to have red wine, and normally I'd have Italian music playing in the background, but today we can't do that because your video gets flagged, and I don't actually know who sings what, so I don't even know how to do that stuff. So I don't do it. Normally there is music playing, so I even have cherry tomatoes here. What I did, I'm already at I skipped a few steps here. You guys didn't get to see the beginning, but basically what I did is I went in the garden, I picked myself some tomatoes. Then I bring them home, I wash them, I let them dry. And then I cut them up in halves or quarters. And I drop them in this little worm gear device with some holes here, and it spits out the pulp here and the seeds. And it's an old hand crank that I got from my zia in Italian, but in English that's my aunt. Basically this makes probably the best sauce you'll ever have, because it's the old school machine from probably the 1950s, 60s maybe. This is all cast, whatever, aluminum or iron, who knows what's made out of. It's old though. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just taking my quartered tomatoes. They started out like this. All I do is I core the top of it out, and then I core out that little tiny bit at the bottom, cut off anything that doesn't look right. And then what I'll do is I'll cut it in half and I'll throw it in. I'll do one quick here just to show you. So this one has a little black spot. That doesn't mean your tomato's no good. You cut that off, you look around. If you see black inside the tomato, that tomato's probably no good. This one here has a tiny little bit of black stuff there. That's it. There's nothing wrong with this tomato. Boom. That's all gone. You checked it out. Take this little bit out on the end here. Boom. Gone. And that's basically it. Then you're going to take this, cut it in pieces. Boop, boop. Throw right in there. Cherry tomatoes, sometimes I cut them in half, sometimes I don't, sometimes I just drop them right in. Now the trick with this machine for me, for this old worm gear machine, is not to put too much in at once, because if it gets too much in, it gets congested, gets tight, and jammed up. Other than that, this is a pretty simple process. You want to clean off this here. This is the part that's actually putting out the pulp and the juice. And behind you, you don't see it, but there's a hot plate going. And I've got a little pot going that I've already spun out for my extremely late supper, because here it's about, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock, 8:30 right now. And I have a 3-month-old, so I do this when I have a chance. But I do love doing this, and we grow all the tomatoes ourselves. This year I grew Roma, Celebrity, and something called Early Girl. The Early Girls are gone. They came in pretty early, actually, and they were decent, but they didn't produce a lot. The Romas I find where I am, I'm out in New Brunswick, Canada, East Coast, right on the ocean, and I find the Romas do the best in this area. I came with all kinds of tomatoes. I was in the southern Ontario area, and we had a much different climate there. So when I came here, I brought all my strains from there, and they just didn't take well. And I have a few that I'm still running, and I just keep doing them year after year, so the tomato will hopefully evolve to work in this area, or acclimatize, as you might say, right? But sometimes that'll happen, sometimes it won't. I have one that seems to be doing it. It's getting better and better every year, so I'm going to stick with that one. In my family, we like to grow this tomato called the Biga tomato. We used to have competitions back home for who grew the biggest tomatoes. It's just a fun little family thing to do, something you can do with your kids. This is a really good family project right here. Everybody can get involved. You may not want your younger kids cutting tomatoes, but they'd love to spin this crank right here, and they'd love to drop tomatoes into this. I don't know what this would look like to them, but maybe a garbage disposal to them. But either way, this is a really good family project that reaps good benefits. I mean, there's nothing better than this after you make some sauce with your kids and you show them what you're eating for dinner, and that's what you just made. Well, that's what you just grew after you planted the seeds in the spring, and you ended up with a beautiful harvest of tomatoes. You just can't beat this. And I mean, I don't have a lot of tomatoes this year. I planted a lot of plants. They just didn't do that well. We didn't have a lot of rain this season, and we're on a well here, and when it's dry, you just don't use your well to water your garden that much. I have some rain barrels, but when you don't have rain, that's not much good, right? So um, I couldn't water as much as I wanted to. Basically, that's what I'm getting at. I would have liked to have watered a lot more. I have a 1,000-liter tote that I drive around with, but I'll use 3 or 4 of those in a day to water the gardens, and it just doesn't keep up. So I do it every 3 days, and they get what they get. And that's why I get what I got. We have Petite Cat helping in here. So just wanted to touch base with everybody, show everybody this is what I'm doing, making pasta sauce. It's coming to that time of year where we start doing this kind of thing around here. We've already started canning our lobster and all that great stuff. We canned quite a bit of, froze quite a bit of striped bass. My nephew was down and he was catching them, so we got a couple of those in the freezer, a couple of fillets. Nothing crazy, just maybe 4 or 5 fillets, but still, it's nice to have. And it's a very nice fish to eat. So we've got a lot of that going on, and other than that, this is what I've been up to and raising a child. So anyhow, that's making pasta sauce. It's pretty easy to do. You're cutting your tomatoes in little pieces, you're dropping them in there, you're spinning this, it's going in a big pot right here, and that's it. This is the way I do it anyhow. Some people have electric machines and stuff. They probably maybe even use a juicer these days, I don't know. But this is how I do it. And my sauce comes out beautiful every time. Bada boom, bada bing.